So we are back with the final part of this build. If you have come to this video after watching the first two, you are amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you actually like this series. Let me know if you want to see more like 2-part or 3-part series of larger builds, because I feel like the larger builds are too big for me to put into one episode. I'm probably gonna have to split them up when I do them. Anyway, thank you for coming back, and we are literally decorating the interior of this build. As I mentioned in the last 2 videos, this is the largest build I have ever done in my experience of building sim houses. And I know it might be like, oh well, it's not that big and it's not that, I don't know, grandiose. Grandiose, is that a word? It's not that grandiose, but you guys, you gotta understand, for me, I don't do big builds. It's not me. I don't do big builds. I definitely don't do normal house builds either. So for me to do this, like, it took a lot for me, and I'm actually very proud of myself. With that said, let's get into it. So I am really trying to decorate. In this video, I'm trying to decorate and be out of my comfort zone, because for me, a lot of my builds are either very dark, very out there, and very rustic-esque. It has a rustic-esque look, basically. It's never light. I'm never using light colors like this. I'm never using bright lights that illuminate the place where you can see everything. I don't know why, it's just me. I like darker builds. I like smaller builds. I like more cozy kind of builds, and they're never usually as bright. So I had to push myself out of my comfort zone. Throughout the house, I wanted to stick to that blue kind of theme. So in the last 2 videos, I spoke about Haint blue and the significance and meaning it has behind it, especially in South American cultures. If I'm correct from what I've researched, South American cultures, but specifically the Gullah Geechee kind of culture, what that blue actually symbolized. I tried to stick to that kind of theme with this in the house as well. I didn't want everything to be blue because I think there'd be too much, and then it wouldn't really be as significant if I used blue everywhere. But I did want to still have elements of blue throughout the house. So you can see upstairs there's going to be like, it was like a teal kind of blue. It wasn't Haint blue, it was like a teal kind of blue. And also you'll see in some of the rooms as well, I'm using like different shades of blue as well. I'm finding little blue elements around the house. So the first thing I wanted to do was sort out the stairs and also the kitchen main area. I also, as I mentioned, I think in the first video, I wanted to create like a breakfast eating area. I don't even know what it is, like a breakfast nook, if that's a word. I wanted to create like a breakfast nook as well. So I wanted the kitchen space to be off of the breakfast nook. So it's kind of next to it but not on it. You'll see that later in this video. And I wanted there to be a big kitchen because the way I envision this, as I mentioned, is that this house is for generational families, like multiple generations living under one roof. So we're thinking about like grandma, grandpa, mum, dad, kids, maybe even great grandkids. It depends. It literally depends. But I wanted there to be like a family kind of element. So the space had to be big. I also decided to have 2 separate like living family areas kind of. So on, I think, the right side of the house there would be a like living room, family room, and then on the left side there's more like a family parlor slash dining room, basically. As I said, there in that room I was envisioning that the Sims would be, the Sim family, whichever live here, probably use that room for fancy dinners, or potentially even things like, I don't know, palm reading, kind of that kind of mystical element to the activities in that room. Don't ask me why, it was just me being imaginative, just wanted that in there. I think in this house, the parlor and the kitchen is my favorite areas. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna commit to that. The kitchen and the parlor was my favorite areas of the actual house because I don't know, I just liked it. Maybe I added more detail there. I don't know. I did try and put my 100% in adding loads of detail, like pots, pans, soap, all that kind of little stuff. But I tried adding as much as I could to the actual kitchen itself, and I feel like I did a good job doing that. It came out very well, so I was very happy with how that came out. Also, some of the objects you might see here, they're not all in-game. Some of them are custom content stuff. If you want, I can actually do a couple of videos on like custom content that I recommend that I find, because there is some great custom content that looks great in house builds. It's not just all clothes and makeup and other stuff for Sims. You can actually get some decent house custom content that makes the house look amazing. And this was when I was just starting to like really venture into household custom content, because since then I found a whole bunch more that I like to use my builds, and you're probably going to see in my future builds. But let me know if you want me to share some of the house custom content that I use and that I found online. So one of the tricky things as well was me trying to pick out a table for the breakfast bar, and I just couldn't get the right table. I feel like I still couldn't get the right table for the breakfast bar. I think I just gave up halfway through. It was quite difficult. I don't know why. I just couldn't. Maybe I need to get some more packs. I think I need to look at the Sims kits or something, or one of those areas, and try and get some more packs that can like match some of the aesthetics I want to build. Also, when I was creating this like book, you'll see in a second, I think, or if you haven't seen it, it'll probably be, you'll see it at some point in this video. At some point I was building a book nook basically, and I really wish that I had the actual, I don't even know what the kit is called, I think it's kit or the library kit by The Sims. Like, I know I could use like library shelves and everything else, I know I could use that stuff to do what I needed to do, but I just feel like having that kit would have helped a lot, because I could have added more bookshelves on top of the actual book rather than underneath it. But yeah, that's one kit I think I will look at getting this year, because I don't like buying loads of kits from Sims, to be honest, from The Sims, because sometimes it doesn't look great. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't always look great. So once I got into the parlor, as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite rooms. I got into the parlor and I was like, I really want to do something with this room. I don't want to be over the top and make it extra. So I thought, okay, I'm going to create a parlor and make it very, very simple. As I said, this is the first time I've built anything like this that is remotely normal in my builds. So I was trying to find the right accent colors and also the right decorations. And I also had to like custom build a little shelf on the windowsill so it matched the overall room. And I think I did a good job with it. I kept the blue, as I said, I still kept that blue theme. I especially wanted the parlor to be blue because, as I was saying, I wanted there to be kind of like kind of mystical palm reading kind of stuff in this room. So I thought, let me keep it blue, because then it keeps in the theme of like also being like spiritually lucky colors that would like ward off bad, I don't know, spirits or whatever. That's why I thought, let me keep that blue, because thematically it should work. It wasn't as hard to build in this room, to be honest. I was able to find the right objects that I wanted for this room, so I was very lucky in that sense. At this point I was knackered, so you might see a lot of indecisiveness in my object picking and also dodgy alignment. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. I think my audio just cut out. So I was chatting for another good 5 minutes and wasn't recording. So yeah, that's typical. That's a typical recording session for me. So basically, I don't know where I left off exactly, but once I did the parlor, I then moved upstairs and I was knackered at this point. So I did decide to actually skip a couple of rooms. I did decorate one room to give like an idea of like how I want the rest of the rooms to look like. But I didn't do all the rooms because I thought, because it's a family house, it depends on the family that I'm playing with. The decor depends on who's going to be in that room. And I don't know who's going to be in that room yet. So I just made sure that the rooms had all the basic wallpaper, basic flooring, and the bed. And also I wanted to add a detail like moving boxes, because I feel like that added a cute little detail to kind of indicate, yeah, people are going to move in here. If they haven't yet, they will do. But I did decorate one of the rooms. It was very interesting. I didn't really know what to do with that room. As I said, I'm trying not to use the same color palette and objects that I usually use, but I wanted to try and decorate, and I think I did a good job with that. I also as well added a washer room, because unlike the UK, most houses in the UK do not have a separate washer room. We have basically either washing machines and our dryers in the, probably in the kitchen most of the time. Some of the bigger houses have their own washer rooms, but like if you're talking about a standard regular kind of house or place in the UK, your washing machine is probably in your kitchen most of the time, and the dryer, if you have a dryer. Sometimes you don't have a dryer. But I actually made a separate washer room, so that was pretty fun to just, I don't know if fun is the right word, but for me it was fun. Okay, I might need to get a life when I've just heard myself say that. But it was fun to just create a basic washing room with the washer and dryer, not having to put any other things in it. It was quite simple and fun to do. And then the next thing I moved on to was the hallway with the little, I'm gonna say bay window area upstairs. I wanted it to be kind of a like informal family seating area, and in my head, the storyline I imagine is that the Sim family members, whatever, would go here to have probably tea or talk to each other about family issues or just family stuff in general, or even just read basically and just chill out. But it's supposed to be very casual, very relaxed, no like electronics in that area, just a place to chill. And of course, like any chair, you have to have pillows. I don't understand why I see some builds and there's chairs with no cushions on them. I need to have cushions on a lot of my sofas and chairs in my builds. I do. And that's very reflective of my house as well. I do not have a chair in my actual house that does not have a pillow or cushion. My husband does not understand why I need to have cushions and pillows on my chairs, but that's just me. I'm not going to explain why. It's me. That's what I like to do. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that the chairs looked cozy, and I thought cushions could help with that. Now, what I'm going to ask you guys, because we're going to round up, because I feel like I've spoken a lot and you probably don't want to hear my voice that much, to be quite honest. Let me know in the comments below if you like to hear it, or if you could do without it. What I wanted to ask you guys is this. I have not put this house on the gallery yet. I'm thinking of putting this house on the gallery once I've tested the house fully. I have play tested the house already. My sim can operate throughout the house and do what it needs to do. There's no barriers so far as I know. However, there could be some like points where I might need to look at it a bit more. So I need to just test it a little bit more. But once I do, can you let me know in the comments below if you want to see this house on the gallery, if you want to even try and download this house and play it, and I will upload it to the gallery. If I don't hear from you guys, I won't upload it. But if I do, I'll upload it for you guys. But let me know in the comments below. And I think I've chatted enough, guys. I hope you like the build. I'm going to give some final shots of the overall build, maybe even a walkthrough. And if you got this far, thank you so much for looking through this series. And if you haven't gone through the series and you've just seen this video, there's 2 videos back on this from the very start, the rationale and everything. So go and check that out, guys, as well. Even if you want to watch this and then watch the other videos, that's cool. Or watch it in chronological order, like I like to do. But anyway, if you got this far, thank you, guys. I'm going to catch you in the next video. I'll speak to you in a bit. Bye.